Centre at 5. The number of deaths from COVID-19 in the UK has passed 100,000. Official government daily figures show another 1,631 people have died within 28 days of a positive test. In England and Wales alone, there have been more than 30,000 care home deaths. Urgent care doctor Koiza Med says it's been a tough year.
I don't think I could have ever been as prepared for the number of deaths that we've seen during this pandemic. In all my kind of 14 years of experience as a doctor and my training beforehand, I never thought we would come across such a pandemic. We deal with a lot of cases in care homes. It's really sad to see these individuals who may have been towards the end of their lives, but may not have been.
The Prime Minister is about to deliver an update on the pandemic from Downing Street. 31 police officers are facing £200 fines for getting their hair cut while on duty. The Met Office says a barber was called into a station in East London to do it. The government's been considering plans for mandatory hotel quarantine for UK arrivals as fear grows over new COVID-19 variants entering the country. Ministers have been discussing things like exactly who the new rules would apply to. Labour's questioning the enforcement of the rules already in place, like proof of a negative test. But Home Secretary Priti Patel insists they're cracking down.
To date, Border Force has checked an estimated 3.7 million passenger locator forms, issued over 2,300 fixed penalty notices, and referred over 22,000 cases to the police.
The lawyers representing a man accused of killing a university student in Hull have told a jury there's no evidence he did it. Libby Squire disappeared after a night out with friends in January 2019 and was found 7 weeks later in the Humber estuary. There's to be a new independent investigation into abuse in homes for unmarried mothers and their children in Northern Ireland. And initial reports found the way they were treated caused real harm and a lifetime of trauma. And Denise Van Outen won't be competing in this year's Dancing on Ice. The star's withdrawn because of a shoulder injury. She says she tried to carry on but can't do lifts, tricks or solo skating. That's the latest. I'm Robin.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Revive FM 94.0. It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. Yep, it is Scott and Hutch time. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and joining me from his home studio is my amazing co-host,
Scott.
And from his lovely home, we have the amazing Jason Strelitz, who, as you know, is here from Public Health England in Newham to discuss this week's updates with the coronavirus. What is going on with my barnet today? Seriously, it looks like I'm just sort of like, I don't know what's going on. It's I don't know. You could put a landing strip in there, but Jason, how are you, mate?
Not too bad at all, guys. Not too bad at all.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So we've currently got the update about to happen from Boris Johnson and Patrick Vance and Professor Chris Whitty as well, with regards to the latest updates with the coronavirus figures. So just as we came on air, we had the news that another 1,630, I believe, have passed away in the last 24 hours. The death toll has now reached over 100,000 since the pandemic began. There's talk about sort of bringing in tougher restrictions in at the borders with regards to potentially quarantining people as soon as they touch down in the UK, even though they have to provide a negative coronavirus test from up to 72 hours from when they, before they fly out. Guys, I just want to get your opinion as to what you think the new rules might be. Do you think that this option is going to work with sort of having people having to quarantine in hotels sort of near the airports?
I mean, Tom, I've been thinking about this quite a bit. New Zealand's been doing it for a while now. I think it's a sensible measure. There's not really any other way you can do it any better. I thought the whole point of doing a hotel quarantine in New Zealand and Australia was a great idea. And I was wondering at the very start of the pandemic why we weren't doing that across the board, especially during in April when everyone was just sort of still flying in and out. I found that quite shocking. So I don't know how you feel about that, Jason, but I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be horrific for air travel and airlines and all the people who are in that sector. But I think it's a necessity for public health.
I think it's a necessity too. I mean, there's two issues. There's one is, as the case rate comes down, we're still at a very high level across the country, but as the case rate comes down, the last thing we want to be doing is importing new cases additionally, as we're desperately trying to control the spread here. But I think the bigger issue that's really become evident over the last couple of months has been the emergence of new variants. in different parts of the world. And that's something that we really do need to control, because our situation in the UK changed dramatically in the beginning of December when the new variant emerged here. There are other new variants in other parts of the world, and I think we need to be really careful about trying to limit the introduction and the spread of new variants into the country, which can compound what is already such a challenging situation.
And with regards to, because we keep hearing things about, obviously, with these new variants, we have the Brazilian COVID strain, the South African COVID strain, and then there's also the one that was first diagnosed in Kent. Have we still? I know we have our rolling our rollout of the vaccine at the moment. At the moment, they're still okay, aren't they? They're still, just so we can put our listeners, fears to bed, that the vaccines will still target these new types of variant of the coronavirus. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah. So there's a reasonable level of confidence that the vaccines will be absolutely fine with the new strains that we have, and also that the technology is very adaptable to these new strains. So what's likely to happen over time, and I think we've discussed this before, is that the vaccines will be, the vaccine program isn't a one-off. It's likely to be a continuation, and the vaccines will have to be adapted to meet some of the new strains as they develop, as happens with flu, and that's likely to be part of the future of how the vaccines are developed and rolled out on a year by year basis.
Okay, brilliant. And the other thing I actually wanted to ask as well, because I've had a few of my friends ask about this. So there was rumblings yesterday about the Pfizer vaccine, I believe, which they're saying we might start having a bit of a supply issue come next month. Now, I've heard different conflicting reports. Now, I've heard it's because the factory is being upgraded in Belgium, so it's going to delay things a little bit, and then from March onwards, it's going to be absolutely fine. But is that going to hinder the government's target to vaccinate 15 million people, or the top 4 priorities, sort of by their February 15th deadline?
The honest truth is, I don't know. It's not, I haven't. I desperately hope not. I hope we get a steady supply of vaccine. We've obviously approved 3 vaccines in the UK, so we've not got all our eggs in one basket. We're always going to be most reliant on the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. So I hope not, and we just have to hope that we're able to secure sufficient vaccine to keep the supplies coming through into our areas.
And Henry, have you got anything to add on that, mate?
I was wondering, we were speaking to you last week, Jason, about the numbers, and you were hoping to report some happier statistics on coronavirus cases and coronavirus deaths in the Newham area. So are you happy? Are you not?
Oh, hello, Jason. Can you hear us there, mate?
Hello?
Yes. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Jason. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Well,
we might be having some.
We've just lost him there. Yeah.
Let's see, we can hear him. So what we'll do, we'll just give it a moment and see. Jason, if you can hear us, just give us a shout and let us know. Whilst we're just waiting to get Jason back, I'll just let everybody know that we obviously with the new.
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we are.
There we go. He's back.
Just wondering, did you hear the question there from Henry, Jason, or did you need to repeat that?
I didn't hear Henry's question. No.
Sorry, Jason. Last week, no worries, by the way. Last week, we were speaking with you about the numbers and statistics of coronavirus in Newham and in England, and you were saying you were hoping next week you could see some better numbers. So the question I've got is, are you seeing some better numbers?
Yes, the numbers continue to improve. Yes. So, cast your mind back to, I can speak with most knowledge about Newham. Cast your mind back to, we peaked in, I think, around the 8th of January at a rate of 1,430 odd cases per 100,000, equivalent to well over 5,000 cases in a single week. On the statistics published this evening, we're down to it's about 660 cases per 100,000. So significantly more than halved since that peak. We're coming down consistently every day. I've seen no evidence yet of that decline slowing down. So no, really positive situation. I don't want to, we should all be clear. The rates remain, in any relative sense, very, very high. If you cast back in November, if I'd been told the rate was going to be 660 per 100,000, I would have been really, really nervous and worried. And the fact that we've come down from 1,400 doesn't make 600 odd a good situation, but it means things are moving in the right direction and much better than they were.
And how's the impact on the NHS been in the Newham area? Like, have they noticed any sort of decrease, or is there been any let up at all since we went into lockdown? Are they starting to think that it's making a difference now?
I think so. It's very gentle. It's very gentle so far, and I think it's important that people know that you get the case data, and then there's a lag to hospital admissions, and there's a lag again to deaths. So we're going to see our hospitals under deep pressure for quite a long time still to come, and we're going to see really sad, disturbing death figures for a long time to come as this works itself out. And there's that lag, and cases today are admissions in 10 days are unfortunately some cases dying in 3 weeks time, and that's we've learned that through the pandemic, that pattern, that rhythm. So yes, they are starting to see, it really matters, the case rate coming down, and they're starting to see some of the benefits, but it's early days yet for the NHS, I'm afraid.
I have to ask, have you got a forecast on how many deaths with the UK could expect to see in the next sort of 3 months or so? Does that number look alarmingly high at the end of this?
Yes,
or more so than it already is?
I haven't got the numbers. I don't have the numbers personally, but yes, I mean, I think the numbers are already alarmingly high. I think the hope is, where are we? We are coming towards the end of January. I think we're hoping by the end of February, as this big second wave starts to really decline and the benefits of the vaccination program start to kick in, that we'll really start to see the benefits in the death figures. But I think we are in for a sobering few weeks still.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard that Matt Hancock was announcing, I believe it was 32 new vaccination sites opening in the coming days.
Right.
So I know that's going to. I know we also had 500,000 vaccinations administered on Saturday, which I think is absolutely amazing. Have we got any update yet on with regards to the 24-hour centres opening up, like say at the XL and things like that, or is that still we're still considering that at the moment?
I think that's still being considered by the NHS. I mean, I think the local developments we've had a new centre open up at Westfield this week, which is another local site, and we've had a few pharmacies across East London open up. I know there's 2 in Newham that have opened up, starting to offer vaccines. So there are more options emerging for people. Absolutely.
Brilliant. And because we're going to have to start wrapping up soon. So is there, I know we say the same thing every week, is there anything that you would like to pass on to the people in Newham, or any information that you can give out just to sort of let them know kind of where we're at with this, or if they haven't received their contact yet from the NHS about getting the vaccine?
So I think just a few key messages. Thanks for giving me that opportunity. One is rate, as I said before, rates are still really high. Please follow all of the precautions around. Keep not mixing with other households, keeping your distance, covering your face when you're out and about in shops. Please continue to do that. 2, if you do work outside a home or you care for someone outside your home, get yourself regularly tested. There's now rapid testing sites all over East London. We've got 9 community sites in Newham alone, so most people can walk to one. You can get tested for free twice a week and get a rapid test, a result within half an hour. It's how you keep your family and others around your community safe. Number 3, if you get that vaccine invite, take it up as soon as you can. That's the best protection that we've got. It's so important. And number 4, if the absolutely critical rule, if you've got symptoms, if you've had COVID, if you're a contact, follow that isolation advice and don't risk spreading it unwittingly to other people. And if you follow all of those 4 things, we'll continue to see the number of cases and the number of deaths locally come down.
Is it a recommendation at the minute that people get tested regularly, even if they don't have symptoms?
That's right. If you leave the house regularly for work or for caring responsibilities, we recommend twice a week testing. And that is so that you don't unwittingly, before you have symptoms, spread it to someone else. We know that a third of coronavirus is passed on by people with no symptoms at all, who have no idea they have COVID. So if you get yourself tested regularly, even if you have no symptoms, you can reduce some of the risk of doing that.
Well, I had no idea that was a recommendation.
Absolutely. No, that's been developing over the last really since mid-December. We've building up that capability, and like I say, we have in Newham we've got 9. We've got 7 open. From next week we'll have 9 community test sites dotted around the borough in all neighbourhoods of the borough. Should be one local to you wherever you are. You can book your test through the Newham Council website. We're doing a few thousand of these tests a week, and we can do many more if people just book in and show up.
Brilliant. So even though the NHS is kind of getting inundated at the moment, it's almost like you're saying, still use it. Don't feel like you can't use it, sort of thing. Is that the message we want to get out to the people in Newham?
100%. If you're unwell at all, you should be using the NHS. We don't want people staying at home feeling that their health is deteriorating and not accessing help. Absolutely vital.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I think we're going to have to go to a break on this. So, Jason, it's been great speaking to you again. Hopefully, we'll speak to you again next week.
Brilliant.
And yeah, thanks again for joining us, mate.
All the best, guys. Keep well.
Take care. See you soon, mate.
Jason.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because Scott and Hutch will be right back with another guest right after this.
We're facing the biggest health challenge of our generation, and we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we urgently need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
If you're looking for a unique bespoke cake made especially for your big day, then look no further. Here at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, we design some of the most imaginative and delicious home-baked cakes for your special occasions. We do fresh cream, buttercream, eggless and vegan cakes. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, or just call 07932 665 833. That's 07932 665 833. Amigos, the signature name when it comes to burgers and shakes. Our succulent burgers are prepared in front of you while you wait. Whether you go for our 6-ounce Mexican or our 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for our messy fries or our buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. Dine in with your friends and family at 400 Cranbrook Road, Gants Hill, or order in on Uber Eats, Just Eat or Deliveroo. Amigos, hats off to great burgers.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. There we go. My name is Tom Hutchinson. It is Scott and Hutch. It's Tuesday. So I am Scott. No, I'm not. I'm Scott. He's Scott. I'm Hutch. He is
I'm Hutch. No, not. Oh wait, I'm Scott, not Hutch.
Breakdown.
I'm sorry about my lighting. I do look a bit scary, don't I?
Mate, I'm telling you, looking like this, you do not look scary. All right, this looks like sort of something out of, I don't know, like the little barbershop horrors or something like that. I don't know what's going on. Right, we have another guest here for you. I know, aren't we kind? 2 guests in one show. It's amazing. Right now, the census is coming up. The 2021 census. And joining me here is, joining us here, I should say, is David Kokoza, who is actually part of the 2021 census and is going to explain a little bit about it. So, David, welcome to the show, mate. It's lovely to have you on.
Thanks, gents. How are you doing?
We're doing well.
Yeah,
how are you doing?
He's very
surviving in lockdown. It's a strange position for all of us to be in, I think. But I'm still alive. You talked about your barnet just recently. I haven't had a haircut in about 3 months now, and I'm starting to feel the same. That I need to go out soon and eventually get a haircut because this length is just not good for me anymore.
Do you know what? It used to be down to my shoulders, down to about here.
So did mine. I used to have it down to here as well.
It's great, isn't it? It is great. It's just
lads, I've also had that amount of hair, and I can't lie. Since I've gone back short, I much rather appreciate it.
So I missed the length. I missed the length of it. That's the problem.
No, Tom. It's so. I'm sorry. We're going to sound like a gaggling bunch of girls here, but it's so long to have in the shower. It's just like you can't. Now I can just quickly. I'll quickly pop for a shower. Dash off. But now I can't. When I had long hair, I couldn't just dash off for a shower. I had to spend a full on 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I think I might shower today because I can put it in my calendar because that's how long it's going to take.
I think I've come to the wrong show today, gents. This is more like a barbershop show than anything about the census.
This is what lockdown's done to us. Right, let's get back onto topic then. So, the 2021 census. Now, everyone's heard about it, obviously, with the Doomsday Book and things like that. But for our listeners, could you just clarify sort of what the census is about, what it does, what is its main purpose?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you both of you for having me on your show, and it's really good to be here to talk to your listeners about the upcoming census. And if you don't know what it is, the census happens every 10 years. So this is the first one since 2011, and will essentially be the most comprehensive look at the population of the UK as it is right now on the 21st of March 2021, which is when the census takes place. It collects data on people's households, transport, current financial situations, just creates a real statistical database of the population that informs so much about the local services in Newham and across the country over the next 10 years. It helps the fire brigade plan effectively on the risks in the local population, age data. It allows hospitals to effectively plan resources. One of the things that the last census allowed us to do was to ensure that hospitals had access to imams based on local Muslim populations. So the data basically informed that employment and allowed hospitals to be, those employments were paid by the Department of Health. So those kind of statistical analysis that you can do, that we do at the ONS, provides so much data for the next 10 years. And essentially what we ask is that everyone in the UK has to complete it. It is a mandatory census that's done every 10 years. And the next one is on the 21st of March. We've been doing it every 10 years in the UK now since I think about 1840. But it has, obviously, there have been ad hoc censuses since then. You mentioned the Doomsday Book and things like that. In fact, the first ever census was done by the Babylonians about 6,000 years ago. So it's nothing new, but this will be the most recent one and hopefully will reflect where our country is right now and allow us to plan effectively for the next 10 years.
Brilliant. And so the thing that I'm sure that will panic most people is regards to sort of data protection and things like that. So obviously, cybercrime is, really on the increase. And I believe this is the first time that the census can actually be done online, especially with regards to what's going on at the moment with the pandemic and being able to go out. How safe will the data be that is how safe is the data that will be collected?
It's not going to get sold to Cambridge Analytica.
No. I can't comment on Cambridge Analytica specifically, but I can tell you it's a very...
Phyllis at number 74 likes cream crackers. Get some down there. Do it like that.
No, I can assure you that the data that anyone provides on the census is very secure. Now, as you mentioned, this is the first digital census. So although it isn't the first time their census has ever collected data purely online, that was 2011 when we had some responses as kind of a test model done online. But this will be the first where people won't get paper questionnaires sent to them in the first instance. They will get a link to an online survey that you complete as part of the census. But if you do want paper options, that's something that we can do. But that data is kept very secure. It's under lock and key for 100 years. So everything is anonymized before data is produced from the census. So nobody can ever be identified by the information they provide. It's only for historical records after 100 years that it's released in its full format. So in January next year, we'll have the first results of the 1921 census being made publicly available for the first time. And it creates some amazing stuff in there. So you can see, for example, we looked at, so I'm a big Star Trek fan myself. I love Star Trek. And I found there was a James T. Kirk living in London, live long and prosper. And there was a James T. Kirk living in London. So you can see those kind of things in historical data, but it's never released for at least 100 years. So you can rest assured that it's completely safe and secure. I can tell you the ONS regularly get requests from other government departments to share data, whether that's with perhaps the security services or anyone else, and no data is ever shared for any reason. It's purely kept
even amongst government.
Correct. It is never shared. It is completely anonymized. I can say to you that, like I said to you, there have been times when the security services have asked for data, but we are very strict on our data security protocols, and that is never shared. So it's completely anonymous and locked away for 100 years.
Wow.
It's amazing. Well, I was also going to say as well, for our listeners, if anyone does have any questions or any comments they want to call in, they can call the WhatsApp the studio on 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. You can also send us a message on YouTube or Facebook as we're on live at the moment. So you can just type in Revive FM UK, and we'll obviously put your questions over. Another question that I had as well was with regards to how the data has been used in the past. So you say obviously that we've had things such as like imams have been brought into hospitals in Muslim prominent areas. What other sort of things does it go towards doing, like with regards to like local communities and things like that?
Sure, it's a really good question. The census data can be used for so many different things. So it informs transport services, for example. So we know from the last census that in Newham, because I'm responsible for Newham, that's the area that I know best, 23% of all the people that lived in Newham in the last census, 2011, took public transport. And we can then use that to identify areas that might need a bit more investment in infrastructure to ensure that the transport networks are effective for the amount of people that live in the area. So we know that the last 10 years have seen quite an exponential growth in the amount of people that live in London. There's been a lot of immigration from outside of the UK, and that is going to have an impact on how our country now is. And the last census data, 2011, is more likely to be not an accurate picture of what the local borough of Newham is like anymore. So it informs things like healthcare as well. Are there enough doctors' surgeries, GP surgeries? And I think that's very relevant right now, particularly in the midst of a pandemic. Are the local infrastructure services adequate enough to keep up with demand? And is it, what else can be done? This is the first census to ever ask questions about gender identity and sexual orientation. That's a voluntary question that's been added for this census. So something like that will enable us to get a real good picture of London and identify areas where there are high LGBT plus populations that might need a bit more targeted support. And that is the kind of thing that the census data is used for. It helps plan services both in a public and in a private sector.
I've got a question.
Sure.
So I think we'd get on great if we're not on talking on the radio, because I'm a bit of a data boffin. I absolutely just love poring over statistics and data. I don't know why. It's a bit of a nerd in me that gets a real kick out of that. But when it comes to I was when we heard you were coming on, I was having a jump around the census website, and I noticed that obviously you have to do the census. So which parts of the census do you have to do, and which parts are voluntary? And then I've got a follow-up question.
Sure. So there are a couple of voluntary questions this time around. So the questions on gender identity and sexual orientation are voluntary. You don't have to complete those. Also, there's a question on whether you were previously a veteran, so if you've ever served in the armed forces. The rest of the census is mandatory. It is a legal requirement set under law that you do have to complete those parts.
Right. And this is actually ties nicely into the follow-up question is, I was hunting around on your website and it says there's £1,000 fine for not filling that out. How is that usually enforced?
So this is the kind of where I come in, and my role is to work with the local community to identify barriers for participation so that everyone feels able enough to complete the census fully. And hopefully we'll never get to that stage. So we do have quite an extensive stage to ever get to that £1,000 fine. So please, no one worry out there. No one's going to come knocking on your door asking for £1,000 immediately. As much as that would be nice for some people, I'm sure, but no one's ever going to come around and start knocking your door asking for money. There is quite a process that we do follow-ups. We find out from people why they haven't completed the census. But if there is genuinely no valid reason why someone's not doing the census, then you can be prosecuted under law. So there have been times when essentially what the process is you get a court summons, and you essentially are faced a fine of £1,000 or do your census there. As far as I'm aware, most people just opt to do the census there and then, as opposed to the fine. I can't tell you of any instance that I know of where anyone's had the fine, but it is there in law so that if that eventuality ever does come up. But like I said, my role is as the local engagement officer is to hope that I can work with everyone in the local community to make sure that they feel able to do the census, and it never really gets to that part.
Yeah. And I suppose one thing I loved about the census website was that as a frequently asked question is, what if I can't afford the £1,000 fine? And the answer was, well, if you can't afford the £1,000 fine, this can be avoided by doing the census.
It's a very easy response. You know, if you can't afford it, just do it, please. It's very secure. There's no problems about data security. You can never be identified about that, you know, and really there's, as far as I can see, there is no other valid reason why you shouldn't do it. And it, like you say, is mandatory in law. But hopefully we never get to that point. But if anyone does want to avoid the census, be prepared. Save up some money if you really do want to avoid it completely.
I mean, let's be honest, I think with the way fines are being dished out at the moment, I think another fine is the least of the least thing on everyone's mind, that we just like, not another fine, I can't go out. And obviously the other thing as well is, so if, for example, someone doesn't have internet access or anything like that, are there other ways that they can participate? You know, is there ways that also, because I know that some people might be a little bit concerned if, say, someone starts ringing up out the blue or anything like that, asking for information, they might go, oh, hang on, I don't know who you are. So, you know, are there other ways? And then how do people know that it's a genuine contact from the ONS to take part in the census?
Sure. Well, first of all, like I said to you, although this is a digital first census, there are paper copies available. Everyone will get some information through in the post in the coming few months, and that will give you a link to the online resource. But if you don't have the internet, and we know there are some people, or you don't have the necessary equipment, there are paper copies available. Around the beginning of March, everyone will start getting this information. There will be a telephone hotline that anyone can phone up to request a paper copy, and that will be easily available online. We also have some census support centres that will be coming online within the Newham and the surrounding areas. The exact date I'm not too sure of, but it will again be March, and they will be physical places that, COVID permitting, will be open for people to go in and request additional information. and that information will be shared by Newham Council as and when it is received, and it can be confirmed. But those are the kind of the first two options. If you need a paper copy, you can also speak to the officers that may knock on your door to follow up. So one of the things that we do is identify households that haven't completed the census, and they will be visited by a field officer. Those will be clearly identifiable by a little badge here. So if you're online, and you can see this on the Revive FM or website, you'll be able to see I've got my little census badge here. I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt on my one. It looks like I was going outside to Tenerife or something. But everyone
I wish.
Yeah, me too.
I've got a bit of cabin fever.
I think we all have, to be honest. I was in Tenerife last September, and I missed the sun a lot. I'm half Italian, so it's in my blood to be basking within the sun. But you don't get that much of that in Blackheath where I am at the moment. Everyone from the census will have a lanyard and a badge, so you'll be able to identify them, and you can also call up the census hotlines and check that they are someone who is working for the census. That is, of course, COVID permitting, and they will be in full PPE, so there's nothing to worry about there. But hopefully those are the ones that will help identify people that don't have internet access. Is you can call up, there will be places you can go, and somebody will visit you if you need that additional help.
Oh, brilliant. I was just wondering, so can you walk us through a bit of the process and how this is going to happen? So everyone's going to be sent, is it going to be a text message, an email? What's going to happen around March time?
Sure. Well, the first bit of information that everyone will receive is going to be some pieces, some literature in the post. There'll be a few postcards that will have information about the census is coming, and then as we get closer to the census day on the 21st of March, each household will receive a unique link to the unique code to the online census form. You input that code and it will allow you to complete the survey online. So that's where everyone will get the information. It will be through the post in the coming few weeks and months. So around the start of March, you should expect that. However, there'll be plenty of stuff happening in the meantime. I'll be running local engagement workshops with community groups, churches, mosques. There's plenty happening within the community that will hopefully raise awareness. Things like this as well. So, really grateful for you guys having me on their show, because it allows us to spread the message that the census is coming and start to get the word out that it is secure. There's nothing to worry about. It's not about catching anyone out. It's just providing the next 10 years of really good statistical data that everyone will be able to pore over as well. But it's never identifiable. But that's really the key, is that this enables us to get the word out right now. But there is stuff coming. So look out for about March for stuff landing on your doorstep.
Brilliant. And I just had a question, but it's completely gone out of my head. Oh yeah, that's it. So you're saying that obviously there are sort of events taking place in the area. If people want to get involved on that or anything, is there a website that we can direct them to, or anyway, if they want to find out sort of when and where the dates are going to be?
Yeah, no worries at all. So in the first instance, I run my own Twitter and Instagram. So I'm at Census S Newham on Twitter and Instagram. So that's Census South Newham, because there's quite a large team of us within Newham. So myself and George are the census engagement managers, and we have a team of 7 community advisors under us. I'm the lead with the council, so I currently have the Twitter account. So it's Census S Newham, and I'll be tweeting on there, and you can direct message me or find out what's going on through Twitter and Instagram. But not only that, I work closely with the London Borough of Newham as a council, and they'll be putting out lots of information on the magazine, online, on their Twitter feed, or you simply go to the census website and you can find out what's happening through the Office for National Statistics. It's always a hard word to say, that always catches me out. I work for them, but I can hardly ever say that word, statistics.
Why do you think I've been saying ONS?
Yeah, ONS from now on, it's much easier. And you can find there are quite a large number of jobs coming up in the next few weeks as well. And if you want to find out any more information about them and the ONS, just go to censusjobs.co.uk.
Sorry, I don't know about Tom, but I'm definitely in need of like a little part-time job. Is there any part-time roles coming up?
There are across the UK 30,000 part-time roles coming up. Within Newham specifically, there's 190 that are coming up, and they are advertising right now. And there are part-time roles available from the start of February all the way through to April, May onwards. There's plenty of part-time jobs available. Like I said, 30,000 across the UK. So censusjobs.co.uk to find out more information. Please
Just
apply.
typing that in now.
Don't worry, I think you and me as well. I think we'll be doing.
Come on board.
I can't take furlough anymore. I've had enough. It's no more of it. I can't.
No, and there's not a lot of video work going for me at the minute, so I'll definitely be.
This is the useful thing about the census. It enables us to look at, and particularly where we are right now in the pandemic, it will enable us to see how much of the impact the pandemic has had on the population. Like my wife has been on furlough, or she was on furlough for about 6 months last year. And then she unfortunately caught coronavirus and was off with long COVID for about 2 months. And she's just going back to work. But one of the things the census will allow us to do is to identify work and transport and how many people work from home and how many people had to take a car to work. You know, there is so much data you can generate, and that's one of the good things about the census. You know, that there are jobs available right now if anyone wants to be out and about or stay at home and do a bit of work from home as well.
I mean, the thing I would ask as well is that obviously, I mean, we are hoping that this is not going to go on for too much longer. So obviously in the short term, it's going to be absolutely great to know how everybody's getting on and how the government and the ONS can actually direct public funds and things like that to it. But in the long term, do you still think that this census will be as effective, or do you see a point we might have to maybe do this a little bit shorter, like maybe do another census in a couple of years' time as opposed to another 10?
Well, there are other data sources that can provide information. So the Greater London Authority also run mid-year estimates. They produce their own data sets as well. Some of it's based off the census, but they also collect that based on things like council tax and local information. So there is always data available that's coming in regularly to councils that can provide information to the local authorities and inform services. There won't be another census within the next 10 years. It is a once every 10 years survey as such. Will it still be relevant? Absolutely. There is the information on there will be very relevant to informing the next 10 years. Things like the employment status. If you are furloughed, it would ask you about a job that you have been furloughed from and what you've been doing for the last sort of few years. So that information will also be taken into account. Any kind of further information on that will be given out by the ONS when and if that need arises. But there's plenty of information that can be produced from the census for the next 10 years regardless.
Really amazing stuff.
I think as well. I think Henry's already currently on there looking for work and things like that. So,
I might have just been having a little skim.
Go for it.
We'd be all happy to have you on board, mate. Honestly, we are really recruiting quite highly in Newham. So if you've got the right to work in the UK and all that legal stuff, then by all means, we've got the contract for you. So come on board.
Yes, please.
This isn't a job offer. I'm not giving you a job offer, by the way.
No,
I just want to clarify that before anyone asks. You've not got a job offer.
I was going to sit with Alan Sugar and go, right, I want you to
You're
work.
hired.
You're hired.
No worries.
Right. Well, I think because we are overrunning, I think we are going to have to go to a break. But it's been great having you on. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll be able to get the message out, obviously, to take care of the census. And just remind us the date again. I believe it's the 21st of March. Is that right?
You hit the nail on the head there. 21st of March, 2021.
Didn't even have to look at it. There we go.
David, wish you live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Take care.
Star Trek fans out there.
Yep. And we are going to live long and prosper with some very short ads. See you after the break.
Businesses. If you deal with Europe, new rules now apply. If you haven't already, you need to get started. You can find out what you need to know on the Brexit Checker tool online. In just a few clicks, you'll get personalised actions for your business. Go to gov.uk/transition. Use the Brexit Checker tool and keep your business moving. Check, change, go.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।
Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists. We do new boiler installations, full house central heating systems, underfloor heating, boiler repairs, boiler servicing, and gas safety certification for landlords. With some of the best prices in town, there's no job too big or too small for our qualified engineers. For a free, no obligation quote, contact us now on 07956 282 948. Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah, and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals, and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Turkish Kitchen, the best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lamachin, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, ID11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
কোভিড-19 এই নতুন রূপান্তরটা তাড়াতাড়ি ছড়িয়ে পড়ছে। যাদের কোভিড-19 হয় তাদের প্রতি 3 জনের মধ্যে একজনের মতো লোকের কোনো উপসর্গ থাকে না, কিন্তু তবুও তারা সংক্রামিত হতে পারে, যা লোকজনকে গুরুতর অসুখ হওয়ার ঝুঁকির মধ্যে ফেলে এবং আমাদের এনএইচএস এর উপর চাপ আবারও বাড়িয়ে দেয়। ভ্যাকসিনগুলি ভবিষ্যতের জন্য স্পষ্ট আশা দেয়, কিন্তু সংক্রমণের হার বেড়ে চলার কারণেই এখনই ব্যবস্থা নেওয়া দরকার। আবারও আমাদের সকলকে অবশ্যই বাড়িতে থাকতে হবে। যদি বাড়ির বাইরে বেরোনো অত্যাবশ্যক হয় তাহলে মনে রাখবেন, হাত ধোবেন, মুখ ঢেকে রাখবেন এবং দূরত্ব বজায় রাখবেন। বাড়িতে থাকবেন, এনএইচএস কে রক্ষা করবেন, প্রাণ বাঁচাবেন।
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and joining me from his home studio just south of Parts Unknown is my amazing co-host
Henry Scott.
That's it there. Right now, do you want to do your little feature?
It now comes to the part of the show, a new segment which we're calling Random Acts of Kindness.
Time to stop that frown. If you're feeling blue, time to put on your shoes. Don't feel so sad or kind of bad because it's random acts of kindness.
I really like that. I think that's pretty good. I really like that. Well done, mate. I think that was fantastic.
It's a nice little jingle I've done for today's show.
I'll tell you what, hang on. I'm going to just play this in as well, I think, just to get a bit of... There we go. Is it going to work? Oh, it's not going to play it now. You watch.
It's random acts of kindness, though.
It is. It's also the phone being a bit random as well for some reason.
Oh, no worries.
It's working now. There we are. I'll tell you what. Let's just make it like that. There we go. That's better. That sounds
There
good.
we go. That's much better.
Right. So, have you had a couple of random acts of kindness, sir? Because I've got a couple.
I believe it or not, this week, after scouring the internet and asking lots of friends, I have actually got some random acts of kindness which have been going from people. So what I found though is that not a lot of people have had random acts of kindness because that seems to be a rarity these days. But I do have good things that have happened to people.
Nice.
So we've got Alex from Watford who said he got a PhD offer from UCL. So congratulations to Alex. Well done. Very smart boy. We've got another bloke said, I finally repaired my phone screen after it being cracked for 3 months.
Nice. I mean, that is I mean, that is literally asking you what's the crack. I mean, right there. But that's sorry.
That was from Dovlet in Aldgate, and then we also have Charlie in South London, who says that he has decided to work on himself for the next couple of months, and he feels really positive about the future. So that's some nice stuff from me. How about you, Tom?
Well, so I have had a couple from. I've had about 4 come through from Sophie. And so I put it out on Instagram earlier in the week just to ask, what have your random acts of kindness been? If you do have any random acts of kindness, we will try and do this throughout the show as best we can. So you can WhatsApp them to 0333 444 0940. That's 0333 444 0940. Or if you want to come on live on the air, you can call us on the same number, or you can message them. I've got them right here. All the messages coming up on Facebook and YouTube by searching Revive FM UK. So Sophie has had quite a lot of comments coming on. So she's had a lot of support from her friends. She's also had some lovely Instagram comments as well. And the other nice things that she's had, she's received a cost of delivery from a friend, although other coffee brands are available. And her friend also mentioned some bath salts for aching muscles, and she was sent some, which I think is really, really, really nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So it goes to show that some people are having it. It's not all doom and gloom, is it?
No. Oh, I've got some more good news.
Oh, good.
So, do you remember we had a caller come on last week, and he mentioned about a member of their church, Bill, in Leytonstone, who said he was quite ill with coronavirus.
Yes, I remember.
Well, he's completely recovered.
Oh, brilliant. Honestly,
Yeah.
it goes to show you, though, NHS is absolutely snowed under at the moment, but they can still make a big difference like that. I think that's absolutely amazing. And also, just whilst I've got it here, because I do have to read this out, I was going to do it earlier on, but we'll quickly just go back onto it now. So obviously with the new variant of COVID-19, the most important thing for us to do to save lives is to protect the NHS and to stay at home. So that means no mixing with anyone outside of your immediate household, only going for essential shopping, education, or medical reasons, or for your daily exercise. The NHS is still here to help you, so please keep your NHS appointments or call 111 if you do need urgent medical treatment. During these trying times, we need to take care of our physical and mental health, keeping a routine, eating healthy, exercising daily, and staying connected with family and friends. And if you need more information, make sure you go to gov.uk. There we go. How's that?
That's real smooth. But Tom, that's lovely to hear. Anything? But now let's think about good things that have happened to you this week. I think it's a good time for. I want to ask all our listeners is to just remind themselves of one good thing that happened to them this week.
Well, I'll tell you what. So obviously, as everybody knows, I'm still waiting for my potential new buyer to come with the goods and say, yes, I'm going to buy your house. I'm still waiting on that. But I actually had a little bit of luck today. So you may have remembered a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned one of my best friends, Darren, who caught coronavirus.
Yeah.
So luckily he has recovered. He's absolutely fine. His daughter hasn't got it. His girlfriend had it as well. But they're all absolutely fine now, and they're all back to work and everything. And we've all been trying to get the dreaded PlayStation 5s for the last few weeks, so with not much luck. Well, luckily, I managed to get one for myself yesterday, and I said, right,
congratulations.
Managed to get one. Literally, I mean, it's bankrupted me, but it's 4 weeks of furlough I'm never going to see again, but let's be honest, it's worth it. And today, I said, right, I'm going to try and see if I can get some more of them. So I wasn't going to wake up at 1:30 for when a stock thing drops or anything like that. I thought, I'm just going to try and do it during the day. And I got a message. Some have become available, and I managed to get one. So Darren has now got his PlayStation 5. So that's my little random act of kindness for him, because obviously he's been really brave with fighting the coronavirus, also still being a parent. I know that obviously quite a few people are doing that as well. But
that's so kind of you.
Yeah, he hasn't complained. The only he has complained. The only thing he complained about was the fact that he couldn't taste his pizza, and then complained that he got double pepperoni with no taste buds, or with no sense of taste. But
that's actually a common thing with coronavirus. Is somebody thinks, oh, I'll get them a nice takeout, they'll love it, and of course you can't taste or smell, can you?
Yeah, so it's kind of pointless, really, isn't it? But so it was a joint decision. It was because I said, right, to my two friends, Snoot and Darren, we have a group WhatsApp chat. So I said, right, I've got one. I can't get a second one because obviously it's one per customer. Fight amongst yourselves, whoever wants it. And we both at the same time said, Darren, you take it. So Darren will be having a brand new PS5 winging his way to him at a certain point. And now I've just got to try and get one.
That's absolutely lovely, mate. I'm so happy for you. You're a really kind bloke, you know. Right, I think that brings the end to our random acts of kindness segment, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah. So I'll tell you what we're going to do, just because it's really cool. I'm going to quickly whip this out. That sounds wrong. You know what I mean. Let's just hear that amazing jingle just one more time.
Oh my goodness.
Time to stop that frown if you're feeling blue. Time to put on your shoes. Don't feel so sad or kind of bad because it's random acts of kindness.
That's the random acts of kindness segment.
And we're going to go to a random act of pressing this button and playing the ads. See you in a bit. It's a random ad of kindness.
Oh my goodness.
Her father died in an accident at a very young age. She lives with her mother and siblings. There are millions like Aisha who do not have access to the very basics of life, resulting in her and many others not being able to attend school. Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your charity is dedicated towards supporting the full needs of orphans and needy children around the world. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
Here at Duncan Lewis Solicitors, we specialize in immigration and family law. We have a proven track record of successful applicants who we've helped secure permanent residency for. From spouse visas to seeking asylum, our expert advisors will assist you throughout the whole application process. We offer a free no obligation consultation, so call us now on 0208 432 3350. That's 0208 432 3350, or visit us at 298 Romford Road, London, E79HD.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
We're facing the biggest health challenge of our generation, and we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we urgently need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
Nitro Treats, the dessert lab where your treats are formulated before your very eyes. Keep cool with our flavoured shaved ice, or chill out with our exclusive Dragon Breath Nitro ice creams. Experiment with our selection of mojitos, or indulge in our traditional faludas or lassies. Visit Nitro Treats at 210 Ilford Lane, where our nitrologists remain ready to serve. Nitro Treats, it's nitrolicious.
कोविड-19 की नई तब्दील शुदा किस्म बहुत तेजी से फैल रही है। कोविड-19 से मुतासरा हर 3 अफराद में से एक में अलामात जाहिर नहीं होती हैं, लेकिन इनसे वायरस फैलता है, जो दूसरों की जिंदगियों को खतरे में डालेगा और एनएचएस पर फिर से दबाव बढ़ सकता है। वैक्सीन मुस्तकबिल की एक बड़ी उम्मीद है, लेकिन मुतासरीन की बढ़ती हुई तादाद को अभी से रोकना है। एक मर्तबा फिर हमें घरों पर रहना है, लेकिन अगर बाहर जाना मजबूरी है तो याद रखिए, हाथ धोएं, चेहरे को मास्क से ढांपें और दूसरों से फासला रखें। अपने घरों पर रहिए, एनएचएस को और अपनी जिंदगी को महफूज
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
Revive FM.
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
يا رحيم يا كريم يا ستار يا غفار يا رحيم يا كريم يا ستار يا غفار In your oneness is my faith. In submission I prostrate in your oneness.
This is
Revive FM.
94.0. With the latest news from around the world.
From the Sky News Centre at 6, more than 100,000 people in the UK have now died with COVID-19. A further 1,631 deaths have been recorded in the latest daily figures. The Prime Minister says he offers his deepest condolences to everyone who's lost a loved one.
It's hard to compute the sorrow contained in that grim statistic. The years of life lost, the family gatherings not attended, and for so many relatives, the missed chance even to say goodbye.
Boris Johnson's also insisted the government's truly done everything it can to keep those numbers down and is continuing to do so. Niaz Ali from Bath died in April. His daughter Rabani and granddaughter Anisha still miss him.
I never knew he had COVID. I just thought it's an infection that he's got and he'll be better and he'll come home.
My granddad was very frightened. He was crying. The last things he said that please don't leave me.
Meanwhile, passengers arriving in England from high-risk coronavirus hotspots could be made to quarantine in hotels. The move's being considered to limit the spread of new variants. 31 Met police officers who broke coronavirus rules to get haircuts are facing £200 fines. A barber came to a station in East London earlier this month. 2 officers who organised it are being investigated for misconduct. The lawyers representing a man accused of murdering and raping a university student in Hull have told a jury there's no evidence he did it. Libby Squire's body was found 7 weeks after she went missing in January 2019. In sport, Newcastle just kicking off against Leeds as they look to end an 8-game run without a Premier League win. A London derby between Crystal Palace and West Ham's also starting. Later, informed Manchester City go to struggling West Brom and Southampton host Leeds. And Sir Elton John's written an essay for a new book titled The Queer Bible. Other stars whose work features include presenter Graham Norton and Queer Eye star Tan France. The collection of essays will be published in the summer. That's the latest. I'm Robin Montague.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
It's a good song. I can't help it.
We're not superheroes.
How do you know?
Because I can't fly and I don't have an Iron Man suit or an arc reactor in my chest. The most I've got is a tiny little metal plate in my finger and in my knee, and the knee should have not been there in the first place.
You know, that sounds like a really interesting superhero name. Look at me, I'm Metal Boy. There you go.
Yeah, no, but that wasn't fun because I was on crutches. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the bad guys, and let me just sort of like, you know, zoom frame my way there.
It's like, I'm gonna get the bad guys. Is there ramp access?
Yeah, no, literally that was it. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, you're like a titanium, like cyborg. And I'm like, no, I'm on crutches.
See, now I should have been playing I Am Iron Man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Revive FM. I'm telling you now, lockdown has not affected us whatsoever. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and joining me from his home studio is my amazing co-host,
Henry Scott.
Still with the delay. There we go.
No, I did that on purpose.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
I was like doing all this cool karate moves, you know.
Well, it's also funny because we've actually got a delay on where I've got the video showing for everybody online, so they can see us on Facebook and YouTube at Revive FM UK. There's actually a bit of a delay on that as well. So as I go to move, it then moves about 2 seconds afterwards. So that's really fun. We're into the second hour now of Scott and Hutch. So we've got a few things to talk about. We've also got probably one of the most absolutely barbaric games ever outside of beer pong that there's ever been played, especially on the radio. And you'll be happy to hear I did not come up with this, but I have, to all intents and purposes, nicked it. So I'm just going to tease you with that for a minute now. But if you're lactose intolerant, you may want to leave the room for a bit. So we've just had the on the news, as you just heard through Sky News, the Boris Johnson press conference. 100,000 people have now confirmed to have died since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. The number's actually doubled since November. So we were at 50,000 and we've now obviously hit 100,000. Still no concrete confirmation yet of regards to sort of schools returning or anything like that. The travel quarantine hotel situation hasn't been confirmed. That's still being discussed at the moment. It's kind of weird. We're doing well in some things, but we're not doing well in other things, and it's a very odd position to be in, don't you think?
I didn't think we'd see 100,000 deaths, Tom, from this disease. I really didn't.
It's scary, isn't it? I mean, I suppose
I don't know that it's scary, Tom. I just think it's disappointing. And I don't mean I'm very disappointed in all these numbers. No, I just think it shows a complete lack of competency from the UK government. I don't see how. I don't. Firstly, I don't know why the Tories aren't polling a bit lower. I just that goes a little bit beyond me.
I think it's because Keir Starmer is untested at the minute. I don't think people know much about him to actually starting to back the Labour Party, and I think also it goes the same with the Lib Dems as well.
Because I mean, you're completely right. Because guess who's in the spotlight at the minute all the time? Tories. Exactly. And nobody. And I'm not going to lie. Sadly, I'm quite. I don't know if it's sadly, but I'm quite a politically turned on person. And what I have to realize and understand is that as a radio commentator and somebody who talks about current affairs, politics plays into that quite a bit. So I'm always listening to the news. And I don't see it from the perspective of, people who sort of just, turn it off, don't care, that kind of stuff, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Ignorance is bliss. And I completely agree, because when I deleted the news from my phone for a week, I was much happier. But then I also had nothing to do.
It's that moment. It's like when everyone says, I'm going to give social media a rest for a week. And then it's like, okay, I'm just going to twiddle my thumbs. I know, I'm going to do the washing up. And then it's like, about 5 minutes.
So you're completely right.
Exactly. It goes to show you just how sort of used we are to it. But I mean, I think the vaccine rollout is going really well. I think for, the fact that we've got, they said today it's 6.8 million people. I was just trying to get the updates, obviously, on Sky coming back on. So we've had, I think it's 6.8 million people vaccinated. So 6,853,327, I believe, have received the vaccine, which is fantastic news. So we're on target to hit that top 4 priorities list before or on February 15th, which is what the government set out to do. As I say, I know from experience, as I've said on previous shows, my dad's had it, my nan's had it. They're feeling absolutely fine. I know a few other people that have also received their first Pfizer jabs as well. But I did find it quite interesting because I watched the press conference that Matt Hancock did last night, and he made a couple of fluffs, but he wasn't too bad.
Oh, he's a very competent bloke.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame that he always feels like
it's just a bit weird.
Yeah, I'll go stay behind that plant. But I feel like, he did do okay. I've completely lost my train of thought now. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, that's it. So he was also saying as well that 4 in 5 of those over 80 have received the jab, which is great news. And this was it. I remember now. So he was saying that there is going to be a bit of a slowdown. This is why I wanted to ask Jason on this earlier on. There's going to be a bit of a slowdown with regards to the vaccine in February. Now, straight away, when you look at the news today, they're going, oh, well, the EU doesn't like how many doses of the vaccine the UK is getting, so they're going to block it. No, they're not. It's because the factory is actually being upgraded in February. It's going to take a month. So they said they're still going to roll it out, but it's going to be, and this was a quote from Matt Hancock, it's going to be in dribs and drabs. And then March time, when the refurb and the upgrade has been completed, it's going to go back to how it was again. So
it's going to go up to how it was and higher.
Exactly, yeah. So because they'll be able to increase their output, obviously, with the new systems. I mean, it's the same with like the Formula One teams. They're currently upgrading their factories at the moment to produce well, let's be honest, it's the car they were using last year, just with a different engine in it. But I do find it quite interesting sometimes how the media, and we have to watch obviously how we say this because we're technically part of it, how they'll get on something and they'll just twist it and go, oh, well,
but here's the problem, Tom, is that because we, as good people, I'm not saying that anyone in the media isn't a good person, but their job is to make money. How do they make money? By selling the most outrageous headline. We are not here to make money. We're here to provide public service, in other words, I would say. Because we don't add all the bias, we don't add all the charged headlines, and we don't talk about the stupid conspiracy theories, and we do talk about controversial topics, but we don't talk about it in a way that alarms everyone and makes everyone yell at us in order to get attention. Although, come to think of it, that probably would do the station a bit of good.
Imagine that. So coming up after the break, a soft drink has been found to make you go blind. We'll tell you which one after this. I'm joking. It's a joke. Relax. It's fine.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. But that's the media. The media is a very charged place. Wouldn't you agree? Like Twitter is a terrifying place to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if you see, going back to what I was saying in the just before we went to the break, the amount of people who are absolutely losing their marbles over these PlayStations at the minute. I mean, you think it was like another war. It's like people are.
Well, it's like people in toilet roll at the first lockdown.
What was that about? I mean, everybody was it was crazy. That whole.
So, I still cannot believe there were some stories of people being unable to buy toilet roll in any place. That therefore that meant that they had to use a sink.
Yeah, or a B-day or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit. I mean, all right, I know in the UAE and things like that, a B-day is quite common, but I mean, there's also, and I don't mean this in a taking the mick kind of way. Local businesses, corner shops, pop in there. They're probably going to be a bit more expensive, but obviously they've got their overheads to pay. But you're helping out local business, so maybe that's what I ended up doing, because I know when the first lockdown happened. Oh God, I did the old Ronnie Corbett thing there. My local supermarket was absolutely out, and you could see people stockpiling the big 18 packs of double quilted aloe vera. I'm gonna drape shea butter on my buttocks, sort of thing, And I literally just thought, I don't really care. I want 2-ply if I could get it. And I literally went into my local corner shop, my little local post office. They had loads of it there, and I ended up just buying. I think it was like 2 packs of 2. I got 4 bog roll, and that lasted me a long time. And I just think people went absolutely mad for them. It was so stupid. And especially, it was a month beforehand, we were telling everyone to be kind after the whole Caroline Flack thing. And
that jumped out the window in half a second. All the journalists were like, some people on the Telegraph were like, we are literally responsible for her death. And yet, which they were, if we're being honest, they were. And some of them even admitted it to being responsible for it. But did any consequences come down on them? Well, no, of course not.
No, and what happened? And even with the CPS, her boyfriend at the time wanted to drop the charges, and the CPS decided they were going to go ahead with it, and she was more concerned, thinking, well, after this court, regardless of the whole, if I did it, if I didn't, I might not have a career after this. And it's the same with John Leslie. Do you remember the Blue Peter presenter, the Scottish guy I used to do This Morning? He was there was a. You might not remember this.
I think I'm a bit too young, mate.
Yeah, well, there was a thing years ago, and I've got to watch how I say this, but it's never been proven. Eureka Johnson years ago in an autobiography said that she had been assaulted by someone, and would never say who it was. Didn't say it in the book. Didn't say it on TV, radio, publications, or anything like that. One day, a journalist who I won't name, but is still on the air now, blurted out the name John Leslie, and he lost everything overnight. He was working on This Morning at the time. He lost that job. No one would hire him or anything like that, and his career was absolutely ruined. And he's never been able to, even though he went to court and he was found not guilty and things like that, and he's had other instances since where people have tried to say X, Y, and Z have happened, and he's come across as not guilty and all that sort of stuff. It sticks with you.
No, you're right. It's people make these accusations, And while you might even be acquitted, everyone will go, "Oh yeah, but there's always two sides to the story, isn't there?"
Exactly. So that's what, and I think that's what would have happened with Caroline.
Just going to have a little gossip.
Exactly. And I think that even with Caroline Flack, I think even if she'd have been found not guilty, I think she'd have gone back and done Love Island and all the other shows she's done, and her, podcast.
Well, mate, it's like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, that was so funny that because everyone sort of sided with Johnny Depp. Oh, Johnny Depp couldn't do that, and then he's now been found guilty, and now he's lost everything, isn't he? But then there's still people that are still standing with him. But then there's other people who are almost wanting Amber Heard to be hung, drawn, and quartered. I mean, there's
well, listen, mate. I think a lot of this celebrity stuff I don't really pay attention to, because why do we care? You know. It's like we don't care about Dave and Julia who live down the road. So why should I care about a bloke who is an actor and is in a couple of films I watch? I mean, judge them based on their conduct. And Amber Heard and Johnny Depp both admitted to abusing each other.
Yeah.
So I don't see why Amber Heard should not be found guilty as well, personally.
Exactly. And there's the whole petition to get her removed from the second Aquaman film. Obviously, Johnny Depp,
which will be terrible, by the way.
I haven't even watched the first one. I'll be honest with you.
I watched the first one and I was disappointed.
So now they were saying that the first one was one of the better ones. Apparently, it's that and but it's It's another superhero film, isn't it? We're getting a bit blasé over them now. But then there's also
because Marvel, you can't top Marvel Endgame, can you?
You can't really. I mean,
unless there's a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3,
which there is. It will be coming soon. It's because now James Gunn. That's another thing. James Gunn. That was the other big casualty of this. Remember all the tweets that were resurfacing because he was slagging off Donald Trump, and he lost his job directing and writing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So he jumped to Warner Brothers and did the new Suicide Squad movie, which is coming out, I think, this year on HBO Max and in the cinemas. And because he was so well liked by the cast and the crew and all that sort of stuff, they all basically said, "I'm going to leave." I know Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, he was actually said, "If James Gunn's not rehired, I'm not coming back." And they all did the same thing. I think Pom Klementieff said she was going to leave.
Chris
Pratt, I think he said he was going to go as well if James Gunn. And so eventually they gave it about, I think, 9 months or so. And then James Gunn was then rehired, and he's and he actually he was also, I think, executive producer on Endgame as well. So he's so it goes to show you, but that was also, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, we'll get into Trump later on because obviously there's a lot's happening.
Yeah, we've got to do some unpacking of some news, don't we?
Yeah, we've got to do a bit of PT now, as we're calling it, post-Trump. So it's PT and the PM, I think.
Anyway, I've got a bit of news for you.
Oh, yes, if you'd like to go for it. So, yes.
So, you know how you mentioned briefly there about the EU coronavirus vaccine stuff, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, right, AstraZeneca and Pfizer have said that the supply for the EU is going to be cut by 60%, but the UK is not included in the AstraZeneca cut because it'll still be going there. The interesting thing is vaccine nationalism. Nadim Zahawi, Britain's vaccine minister, insisted that vaccine nationalism is the wrong way to go, and added that we need to work together rather than to begin to use policies of vaccine nationalism. Because what the EU have threatened to do against AstraZeneca and Pfizer is block all exports of vaccine jabs.
Which is absolutely pathetic, if you ask me. I mean, I know we were talking about it earlier on, but like, I
know exactly what you mean. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's not. Oh, we want to beat you. No. Yeah. And it's not, because that. I know that's the feeling I'm getting. I know they want to save lives, but blocking it to everyone else is only going to do the EU more damage in the long run. I've been reading loads of headlines that vaccines need to be distributed across the whole world for advanced and poor economies to recover.
Yeah, because like Israel has seen is it the over 8-year-olds? They've seen a 60% decrease, haven't they? So they've said theirs has gone really well. I mean, obviously there's the whole issue with the Palestine side of things, which I know we're not going to get into now because obviously we don't.
It's a very big topic to unpackage. And Tom, if I'm honest, I can't take an issue. Yeah, sorry, I can't take a stance with the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Yeah.
I just don't know what my viewpoint is on that.
Yeah, I haven't got enough information to handle that.
Here's the problem, mate. I've got loads of information. I just can't take sides.
Yeah, it does just make you think though of like, you know, all right, we are now not part of the EU, but the fact is we put in one of, if not the biggest orders, and they're going to potentially stop us from having it. I mean, that's petty, to be honest with you. It's a joke. It's kind of like, well, you're not my friend anymore, or you're not going to play with me, or you're not going to come around my house, or you're not going to have all my stuff. So childish. Just look. We've done the orders. We put it through first because we plowed a lot of money into it. Give us the jabs. That's what we want. That's what we're going to do. And you know, I'm not so much concerned for myself. When my time comes to get a jab, I will get a jab. I don't care if I have to wait a year, 6 months, year and a half, whatever. I mean, I can keep wearing a mask. I mean, I can't breathe, but it's better than nothing. But I'm just more concerned for those who, you know, in that sort of those top 4 tiers that definitely need to get it, because bless them, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, there is a chance that some of them might not actually make it to the end of this because they've been waiting so long just for life to get back to normal. So like that.
I've got a couple of things to talk to you after the break regarding coronavirus vaccines. But I mean, let's just give everyone a little taste. There's a serial killer who's been given a COVID vaccine in prison. Yes or no, right or wrong thing to do?
Yeah, let us know on that one. 0333 444 0940. You can WhatsApp us, you can call in on that, or you can leave a message on YouTube and Facebook by searching Revive FM UK. And speaking of which, I'm going to press this button and make sure that our YouTube and Facebook bits go to blank, and we'll be right back after these ads.
We're facing the biggest health challenge of our generation, and we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we urgently need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
People of Asian and Black ethnic origin are at an increased risk of COVID-19. Queen Mary University London has launched a research study called Covidence UK to find out why this is. If you are Black or Asian, we need your help to complete our studies. All you need to do is complete an online survey. Please help us to understand the coronavirus disease so we can develop tools to prevent it. Sign up at qmul.ac.uk/Covidence. Sign up and save lives.
कोविड-19 की नई तब्दील शुदा किस्म बहुत तेजी से फैल रही है। कोविड-19 से मुतासरा हर 3 अफराद में से एक में अलामात जाहिर नहीं होती हैं, लेकिन इनसे वायरस फैलता है, जो दूसरों की जिंदगियों को खतरे में डालेगा और एनएचएस पर फिर से दबाव बढ़ सकता है। वैक्सीन मुस्तकबिल की एक बड़ी उम्मीद है, लेकिन मुतासरीन की बढ़ती हुई तादाद को अभी से रोकना है। एक मर्तबा फिर हमें घरों पर रहना है, लेकिन अगर बाहर जाना मजबूरी है तो याद रखिए, हाथ धोएं, चेहरे को मास्क से ढांपें और दूसरों से फासला रखें। अपने घरों पर रहिए, एनएचएस को और अपनी जिंदगी को महफूज रखिए।
This is Aisha. Her father died in an accident at a very young age. She lives with her mother and siblings. There are millions like Aisha who do not have access to the very basics of life, resulting in her and many others not being able to attend school. Through Hutch Welfare Foundation, your charity is dedicated towards supporting the full needs of orphans and needy children around the world. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777. Or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, Plachette Carpets is the place to go for all your carpets, laminates, linos and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates, free measurements and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 Plachette Road, Upton Park, London, E13 0QZ.
Someone in your supermarket who's pushed the same trolley or held the same basket is highly likely to have COVID-19. This is a national health emergency. Around 1 in 3 people have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. So try to limit how often you shop and try to go alone. Always cover your nose and mouth. Keep a safe distance and use hand sanitizer regularly. Stop the spread. Stick to the rules. If you bend the rules, people will die. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.
Amigos, the signature name when it comes to burgers and shakes. Our succulent burgers are prepared in front of you while you wait. Whether you go for our 6-ounce Mexican or our 10-ounce Texan, or you decide to go for our messy fries or our buffalo wings, one thing you're guaranteed is quality. Dine in with your friends and family at 400 Cranbrook Road, Gants Hill, or order in on Uber Eats, Just Eat or Deliveroo. Amigos, hats off to great burgers.
Revive FM.
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM. It is the second hour of Scott and Hutch. My name is Hutch, and he is
Scott.
Hey, I finally got it right this time.
You remembered your name.
I know. I feel so happy today. Brilliant. Colours and shapes. Right. We were just talking about it before we went to the break. Let me get this microphone. Ooh, as I break it and get the microphone out of the way. There we are. About Lee Rigby's killer, Michael Adebowale, who's currently got COVID. And it does open up what you were saying earlier on, a very interesting quandary with regards to should criminals or convicted murderers or anyone of that ilk be treated for COVID, or at least be sort of in line for the vaccine. So, I mean, I've got a thought on it. I mean, what do you think? And then I'll say mine afterwards.
It's a dilemma I have. There's a killer of an 11-year-old child who was sentenced to life in prison, has been given the vaccine. And while this is sort of tabloid news, it does spark an interesting debate. Is what kind of rights do prisoners have in the UK? Because prisoners aren't allowed to vote in the UK. They're not allowed to vote in elections. And I don't know how that sits with me, Tom, because while interestingly, this topic came up with a teacher of mine during an online lesson. He was like, should the vaccine be given to this guy? And I was like, well, I mean, yes, because he's still a human with human rights, and he's still a citizen of this country, regardless of whether he's done anything wrong. And he says, no, I'd rather he had the death penalty. I'd rather we killed him. And I don't know if that's the right. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, Tom. I don't know. I don't think the death penalty has a place in society, but I think there's definitely got to be different treatment for different prisoners.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. I think my opinion is and I've got to watch how I say this again. He should be given the vaccine, but he should be right at the very back end. I think that's the same with anybody who is in Her Majesty's prison system. I think that regardless of whatever crime you've done, whether it's murder, whether it's assault, whether it's terrorism offenses or anything like that, just anything, you should be at the back of the queue, because whatever you've done, you've abused your rights. Basically, you've abused your rights in the UK, given to you by the UK, and I think that then stops you from effectively being put at the front of the queue. I mean, why he's been put at the front of the queue anyway, I don't know, because why has he been given it? I suppose they're trying to stop it from sort of spreading in the prison, but
I mean, apparently he's at risk. But the issue I have, Tom, is that he's still a human and he's still a member of our society, regardless of the fact he's done wrong. Personally, I hate Priti Patel's policy of tougher sentences mean less crimes. No, they don't. Prisoners are already committing crimes. The sentences are already pretty tough. What do you make? What do you think? No one. It's like, oh yeah, my sentence is going to be extended by another 5 years if I do that, but I'm already doing it anyway. Do they care? No. The tougher sentence does not mean less crime. It means fuller prisons.
Yeah, but it's also the thing of how do you? Let's say if someone gets life, how do you make a life sentence any longer? I mean, unless you do like the American things where they do, where they do those where they have to serve 115 years or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, tougher sentences are just more expense on the taxpayer. For prisons that are already overfull, prisoners are already kept in horrific conditions. There's a correlation between how much rehabilitation you go through in the prison system versus your reincarceration rate. Norway, I don't know if Anne Widdecombe toured around a Norwegian prison, and she was like, "Oh, this is like quite a nice hotel." To be honest, it's not a prison. I thought this is punishment. It says no. The idea here is rehabilitation, not punishment.
Yeah.
And I kind of have to, the data in Norway shows that it's completely correct. Is that in Norway they have one of the lowest reincarceration rates in the world, and do you know what they do with the empty prison space? They house refugees in it in a humane way.
Yeah, and I suppose the fact is as well that if like you say, they're kind of they're to a certain standard. I'm not going to say they're plush and luxurious, and it's like a Holiday Inn sort of thing, but like they're okay. Then why not sort of give them out? I mean, it'd be quite nice if we could do that, but obviously we have the issue that we've got quite a high crime rate in the UK, which is a bit of an issue. But I think the other thing as well is there are some people who don't want to get out. There are like repeat offenders, but I also do find it interesting when you see people like burglars. But I can't say that word. Burglars. Is that the word? Yeah.
Burglars.
That's it. Burglars. Burglars. I'm Scottish. They, where they'll actually come out, and then some will actually look to try and improve their lot in life, and they'll become like sort of security consultants and things like that. I mean, you see them on like daytime TV shows, and they'll go, "So I was a convicted burglar, and so looking here now, like this doorway here, the lock is not of a standard thing. I could kick that in quite easily." And you think so, like, well, not in a taking the mickey kind of way, but that's the kind of the information that you would like. You want to know, right, I've got a man's door here. Well, this guy can kick it in. All right, so maybe that lock's not good enough. Why don't I spend a bit more money and get that? That would be a great idea. I mean, I know some people have to do it because they're fighting addiction or they're fighting habits. Some people, they just want to be inside. They don't want to be out in the world anymore. But I still have to question, because I've got the article up on here with the BBC with Michael Adebowale. He's not on a ventilator and he's not got any breathing difficulty. So I still have to question why he's been given that jab. Like, that's one that could have gone to somebody high risk. I know he's high, but he's 29. And if he's not on a ventilator or anything like that, I know they're probably trying to think, to stop it in the prisons. But like, come on. I mean, that could have been used for somebody else. Like, that's what I would think. So, but that's just me. But I think the other thing I was going to mention as well, two little bits that kind of linked as well, if that's okay, was with regards to, as we had David earlier on the show from the Office of National Statistics. It's easy for me to say. The UK's unemployment rate has hit 5% for the first time since 2016, according to official figures, which suggests that over 200,000 people lost their jobs in the 3 months to November. So effectively since lockdown 2, because we're in lockdown 3 now. And I heard that and I was shocked, and I thought, isn't this what the furlough scheme was supposed to avoid happening? Like, it was supposed to stop that, wasn't it?
Well, here's the issue, Tom, is that the furlough scheme pays people's wages. It doesn't pay company debt. And if a company runs into too much debt, it has to foreclose. And then those employees aren't eligible for their furlough pay anymore.
Yeah, so I suppose it's a bit of a catch-22, really. I mean, because we've just had the update, and it was going to bring me on to my next point, was that the Boohoo has purchased Debenhams, or the assets of Debenhams. So they've bought that for £55 million, and all they've taken on is the website and the name of the company. So they've basically purchased that, and it's going to come back now as online only, which I think is how most of these places are going to be coming back now. I mean, like there's like Zavvi, for example, that originally was Virgin Megastores back when I was a kid. Then Richard Branson sold it, and they teamed up with Woolworths to use their supply chain. And when obviously Woolworths collapsed, then Zavvi got no more stock. So then they were purchased by the Hutch Group, and they're now doing quite well online. And I think this is going to be the thing that that most of these places now are going to be doing. I mean, there's also someone has taken, is it ASOS? It says that they're looking to acquire some of the brands from the Arcadia Group. Philip Green's so Top Shop.
Yeah, mate, I don't know how he's still Sir Philip Green.
Yeah, he should have handed that back. I mean,
he shouldn't have handed it back. It should have been taken off him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question, really, isn't it? Like, of all right, I know there's quite a few important things going on in the world, but yeah, how has he still kept that title? And it's that. it's that real horrible thing as well when you see the videos. And I don't know how old the footage was, but there's people going into Christmas about to lose their jobs, and this man is in Monaco sunning himself on a yacht, and you think that is just absolutely horrible.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, and the fact that there is now that massive pension, so it's not only their jobs they've lost, they could have potentially lost their pensions as well. So that's going to affect them for later life. But it's basically the same thing as well. So ASOS has confirmed that it was in pole position to acquire Topshop, Topman, Miss Selfridge, and Hit, the leisure wear, from the Arcadia Group. With the same as Boohoo and Debenhams, they're looking just to acquire the brands and not any of the stores. So I know with Debenhams, it's going to put about 10,000 people out of work, which is a real shame. And also, I know that House of Fraser says they're going to be closing their Edinburgh store in May, which is going to lose about 200 jobs as well. So in the space of a couple of months, it's we've got nearly 15,000 people out of work. It's terrible. And that is only because the Fraser Group, which Mike Ashley owns, couldn't agree on a new rent deal with their landlords for their Edinburgh store, which, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've been to Edinburgh, but that's one of their main flagship stores. So it's really terrible. I mean, I don't know how we're going to come out of this, because obviously no one's got any money to spend. And
I think this is the death of the UK high street, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is going to be going to online, isn't it? By the looks of it, and especially like when you see, just because obviously there's very few overheads. All you have to do is you have to rent a big warehouse out and then pay your staff, things like that. But I mean, I was reading a story the other day because my friend Shanut, I was talking about earlier on with the PlayStations, he was asking about the big Toys R Us store that was in Times Square in New York. He said, is that still going? Because he said, I was always going to go in there. I mean, it's a man of 30 odd looking to go in Toys R Us. But
mate, I'm sorry. If Woolworths and Toys R Us were still around, I'd be going in.
I mean, in fairness, yeah, you would. But I was like, it was the excitement of it, of a 34-year-old man wanting to go into
no, I'm sorry. I can't believe it, but I'm going to be 20 this year. Disgusting thought.
Oh my God, hang on. I'll get a cane for you. Like,
genuinely, Tom, I'm shocked. My girlfriend was saying, "Oh, you're going to be 20 this year." I'm like, what?
It is a shock when it does happen, mate. I mean, just coming from Hackney, I didn't think I was going to see 21. Put it that way. That's how bad I got it. I mean, the fact I've technically outlived my life expectancy at 33.
Wow. No, but genuinely, because obviously what happened last year is I turned 18, and then pandemic, and then I turned 19 in another lockdown, and now I'm in another lockdown.
I know it's just we've gone from sort of the years that never were. I mean, I always keep joking with my dad, and only motorcycle fans will probably get this joke, but there's a champion called Angel Nieto who was, he's dead now, but he was very superstitious, and he was a 13-time world champion. So he never had 13-time world champion on his logos or anything like that. He would always be the 12+1 champion. And so I joked with my dad this year, because we're supposed to be going to Silverstone to watch the motorbike. So we're going to say, because that was for his 65th last year, so we're now saying it's going to be for his 65th +1 instead of his 66th. But hopefully it'll happen. But just quickly getting back to what I was saying about Toys R Us with my friend. So the reason the Toys R Us store in Times Square actually closed, because the rent on that in dollars is $42 million a year.
There's no way they sell that many toys.
Yeah,
or sold, because Toys R Us went bust, didn't it?
Toys R Us went bust, but they've come back now in America as, was it now, Jeffrey's Toy Cupboard, I think it's called now. It's basically they've got two stores they're going to open as something else. I don't think they can use the Toys R Us name, but they can use Jeffrey and all that sort of stuff. And the rest of it was originally going through Target, which is, the big American retail, like a Wilco sort of thing. That deal's then ended, and they're now doing it direct through Amazon. So all their Jeffrey branded stuff is all going through there. But they went bust, I think, just before the British ones did, because the British ones are like in name only. They weren't part of the Toys R Us brand, a bit like Blockbusters, where they kind of bust. And but it was $43 million a year, because it was a 4-story building with a Ferris wheel in it. And
what?
Yeah, and do you know
what? I never got to go.
Yeah, and do you know what? Who's bought it and who's going to be doing it next?
Jeff Bezos?
No, the
Elon
Gap.
Musk? The Gap.
The Gap. It's going to be 4 floors of Gap.
But I've been to New York. I've already been to the Gap store in New York.
Yeah.
It's big enough.
Why do you need 4 floors in there? And let's be honest, you're not going to put a Ferris wheel in there. That's going to be a Ferris wheel full of denim jeans or something like that.
That would actually be quite cool. Because if you wanted to... No, hold on. That would actually be really annoying. Because if you were looking at a pair...
You got the length of the wheel for it to actually go up and try.
Well, no, because you're looking at a pair and then some bloke's like, oh, I really want to see that. And then you're suddenly just like, what?
Something like when you look at sunglasses and someone turns the thing round, isn't it? You know, it's like that.
Yeah. No, you're bang on.
I know. Right. Well, speaking of which, we're going to take a break. So we're going to turn around and press this button. And then we're going to play some adverts. And then we're going to come back with one of the oddest games you've ever heard on national radio. See you in a bit.
क्या आपको मालूम है कि नूरा जैसी बच्चियां पानी के लिए रोजाना 3 मील पैदल सफर तय करती हैं। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन को यकीन है कि आप छोटे और बड़े पैमाने पर पानी के मंसूबे लगाकर इस बहरान को खत्म कर सकते हैं। आपके एहतियात दुनिया भर के पसमानदा लोगों का म्यार जिंदगी बेहतर बना रहे हैं, जबकि अभी बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है। पानी सबके लिए के प्रोजेक्ट में हमारी मदद कीजिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
COVID-19 remains highly contagious, and even people without symptoms can spread it. So we need to keep washing our hands when we get to work, keep wearing our face coverings in shops, keep making space when we're out and about.
Morning.
And now we're indoors more, we should let fresh air in to help blow COVID-19 particles away. Let's keep doing all we can to protect each other and help stop the spread. Remember, hands, face, space, and let fresh air in.
Turkish Kitchen, the best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
And we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we urgently need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
If you're looking for a unique bespoke cake made especially for your big day, then look no further. Here at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, we design some of the most imaginative and delicious home-baked cakes for your special occasions. We do fresh cream, buttercream, eggless and vegan cakes. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Sugar Sprinkle Cakery, or just call 07932 665 833. That's 07932 665 833.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
Kebabish Original, one of the biggest names in the restaurant trade. Visit your local KO to experience the thrill of the grill and the most authentic Pakistani cuisine. From our kebabs to our curries and from our mixed platters to our peri-peri, our chefs prepare your food in front of you while you wait. KO is now offering franchise opportunities. To take advantage of our proven and successful business model, contact us on 0208 446 7779 or visit kebabishoriginal.co.uk.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM. Oh, that's loud. There we go. I'll turn that up a bit too loud. Welcome back to the last part of the show. My name is Tom Hutchinson. There he is. And joining me from his home studio is my amazing colleague.
Henry Scott. Sorry,
That's it
I was
there.
way too close into the
That's
microphone.
all right. That's okay. Right. Now, we've got about 10 minutes left. Now, should we talk a little bit about Trump, or do you want to just go straight?
Oh, mate, he's an absolute so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. He's done another ridiculous thing to try and grab some media headlines. People on social media have been taking the mickey out of him, blah, 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 the end. Got the gist of it?
Exactly, yeah. We've got the what was it now? The office of the former president.
President Trump. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, mate. I'd rather just focus on the Biden administration. But I will say, though, that American politics has suddenly American media has suddenly got, and the media in general, has suddenly got very quiet with news from the States because Joe Biden is just doing the things that a normal president would do.
He's getting on with it, isn't he? I mean, he's got, was it the first rescue dog as well now in the White House? That's the next thing, which is pretty cool. And he's also reversed the Trump ruling that if you're transgender, you can't enter the American, which is just ridiculous. But I'm glad that it's obviously been reversed now, because I mean, let's just see how long it actually takes for him to undo 4 years worth of damage. I think it'd be quite interesting, really. But
he signed like 28 executive orders the day he got into the White House. So.
Yeah. I bet his wrist is going to be tied by the end of it. It's like, oh, how much more have I got to do with this? How much more have I got to fix of his mistakes? And also, the second impeachment has gone. It's been submitted. Yes. So
and it's supported by Joe Biden.
Yes, I mean it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, let's be honest, it'd be very odd if your new incumbent president didn't actually support the impeachment of the previous one, would it? But
no, I think it's a bit odd that the new president does, mate.
Oh, what you think he would have? What you think he would have sort of stayed neutral out of it?
Yeah, because he's just come in on his presidency. I was watching the inaugural address. He's like, "Oh, well, we're a nation of togetherness, and that's the beauty of America, is we can agree to disagree." And and then he's like, "Yeah, but impeach Trump. You got to have the trial."
I mean, there's agree to disagree, and then there's just make sure that he cannot run for office again. Like at all, because it would be a danger. But so yeah, it's been basically it's been submitted to the House of Representatives, and I believe that it has to have a 2/3 majority for him to be convicted. Democratic control of the Senate will only be felt in votes that are won by a simple 50-1 majority, and Vice President Kamala Harris will have the deciding vote in the event of a tie if it goes that far. I mean, hopefully it won't, and it will just be a slam dunk.
Well, there's been a lot of news that says Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, is going to vote to impeach Trump, as he believes the offenses that Donald Trump did were impeachable. So it could end up being that that Republicans vote to convict.
Yeah, because the fact is, I mean, the scary bit doesn't bear thinking about. He could start his own party, the Make America Great Again party.
That would simply just that would place right into the Democrats' hands. They'd have the election off the bat.
Exactly. I mean, well, hopefully it doesn't get that far, but let's just forget that's over. But I'll tell you what, let's turn this down for a moment. Are you ready to play a really fun, really, really, really bizarre game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it on, Mike.
I'll be brutally honest with you. I was thinking of doing Read My Lips, because that was actually a lot of fun 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to rest that and I'm going to bring that back in a fortnight. So
I don't know that works on a radio setting,
What Read My Lips?
Yeah, because nobody can see. I think the key part of Read My Lips is the visuals to it.
Well, it does work, because to be honest with you, it's been done on other radio shows, and
really
where I lifted it from, which is also where I've lifted this game from. Because I mean,
I'm intrigued.
I mean, don't get your hopes up, mate. This is not anything. This is what happens when you've been living on your own for a couple of weeks in lockdown. So strap yourselves in, because we're going to be playing a game of I can't believe I'm going to say this: IKEA or cheese.
Oh, you've got a bunch of names up of IKEA furniture and cheeses.
Nailed it. You got it in one. So, yes. Now, I would say that I have blatantly stolen this from Toby Tarrant on Radio X, who is the son of Chris Tarrant, of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I actually contacted him, and I sent him a tweet, and I said, "Toby, you ginger fromage connoisseur," and it was something along the lines of, "Congratulations on your engagement. Can I nick it, as I work on a local radio show, and I would give you all the kudos?" And he never got back to me. So, oh well. But yes, Henry has got it right. So how this works is this. I have got the names of 10 things here on my little IKEA or cheese.
Cheese.
Exactly. So if you're a fan of the fromage or just a aficionado of Swedish flat pack furniture, this game is for you. What you have to do, I'm going to have that on shirt. Fan of. So what you have to do is you have to tell me, is it IKEA or is it cheese? And if it is a cheese and you get it right, you will get the option of a bonus point if you can tell me what part of the world it comes from. Okay. So are you ready?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I've never been more ready in my life, Tom.
So you won't be saying that.
Tomothan.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Number 1. Cheddar. No, I'm joking. Right. Your first one is Rushan. Rushan. Rushan.
Is there any weird symbols to that?
No weird symbols to it, no.
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to go with cheese.
You're going with cheese?
No.
You sure? You go with cheese?
Right, I'll go with cheese. Go on.
You're right to go with cheese. You are correct. It is a cheese. Now, for a bonus point, can you tell me what part of the world it comes from?
Roshan. Sounds something like it doesn't. Now, obviously, my instinct would be to go with, it sounds Scandinavian. But I don't think it is Scandinavian. I think it's probably like Eastern European or somewhere north.
Okay, so do you want to give me a country or
no?
You're not going to go. You're just going to go. All right, I'll tell you where. It is a grillable Chinese cheese. So
really?
Effectively, think of like sort of Chinese halloumi. That's what you're looking at.
All right, I like the idea of Chinese halloumi.
That would be quite cool, actually. Right.
I'll ask my girlfriend. She's from China. She might know.
Oh yeah, Rusan. I think I've typed it right. Rusan. Rushan. Okay, so the next one is Kashkaval.
Kashkaval. That's got to be IKEA.
It's not. It's cheese.
Is it? Let me have a guess. So it's got to be. I feel like that's Middle Eastern. So it's like Afghanistan, Azerbaijan.
Well, you're close. It's Bulgarian. It's a type of yellow cheese made of Bulgarian sheep's milk, but you can also get it from cow's milk or goat's milk. So there you go. So you're white.
Interesting cheese.
1 for 2 at the moment on Norwich. I tried to find that clip of Alan Partridge going, "Smell my cheese, your mother." We couldn't do it though. Right. So your next one is you're 1 for 2 at the moment. Platza.
Oh no, that's got to be like an IKEA thing.
You going IKEA?
Yeah.
You're right. It is a white wardrobe. So
I had a feeling. Now mine's black, but I don't think it's called a Platza.
This is to me. See, I can just hear Michael Caine in the Italian Job. It's not a square. It's a platza. Oh, sorry there. It's a platza. Okay, so your next one. So we've done Kashkaval, we've done Rushan, we've done platza. So a Voxnan.
A Voxnan. How is that spelt?
That is Voxnan.
Oh, that's got to be IKEA furniture.
You're right. It is IKEA furniture. It's actually a thermostatic shower.
Really? You can get those?
Yeah, 2 showers. Yeah,
like with like a little temperature dial. I'd love one.
Like it's with taps on the side, and then you mix it that way. So yeah, that's
I was talking like an electric little button that could change the temperature. Like Kylie Jenner's shower with the pour pressure.
Kylie Jenner's shower with the pour pressure.
Yeah, have you not heard about that?
No.
It's completely irrelevant news, and it's not worthy of the radio station. But Kylie Jenner posted an Instagram video of her shower, and everyone trolled her so much because the water pressure in her $18 million mansion was so pitiful. It's like a puddle. It's like a little shower. It was terrible.
Yeah, that is. Hang on. We just that is really terrible for poor whatever Jenner that is, Chris or Cognac or whichever one it is. If you can, I know that times are tight at the moment, but if you can spare any money, please send it to whichever Jenner he just said, and make sure that she has enough pressure.
Let's start a GoFundMe for Kylie Jenner's shower.
Anyway, back to the game, I think, because I think that joke's just finished off now. Right, so where did we get up to?
Back to IKEA and cheese, please.
IKEA and cheese, yes. Okay, so Danky. Danke.
Oh, that's a cheese.
GKE.
That's a cheese.
It is a cheese. Yes. Now, do you know where it comes from?
Thank you. Is it like a bloke in like Somerset who's going, oh thank you.
Oh, thank you.
He's trying to say thank you, but he can only say thank you.
You're close. I mean, you're close to, what was it, Cornwall? You said, yeah.
Somerset.
Somerset. Yeah, when you're close, it's an Indonesian cheese made from butter. I mean, you're really, really close. Now we have got a few more.
Just shut up.
That's pretty much what Elise says to me every week. Right, and on that, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week, and stay tuned to Revive FM because there are loads of great shows coming up.
Oh no!
I've been Tom Hutchinson. He has been
Henry Scott.
And if I don't get sacked, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Someone jogging, walking their dog, or working out in the park is highly likely to have COVID-19. This is a national health emergency. Around 1 in 3 people have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. So exercise locally. If you're on your own, you can meet one other person. But keep your distance. Exercise, don't socialize. And wash your hands the moment you get home. Stop the spread. Stick to the rules. If you bend the rules, people will die. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.